Hello everyone and welcome back to the Core Gaming channel. Today we have more Menace for you, and unfortunately last time we were unable to separate the sound of the game and the sound of my voice, so I do apologize about that. In hindsight, I should have just restarted the recording. We did the first mission. It took all of 5 seconds, but didn't want to do that, unfortunately, mostly because I forgot about it. So in either case, we should have that fixed for now, so hopefully my dulcet tones should not be drowned out by the magnificence of the game. Regardless of that, in the last episode we were able to finish our first mission, which was a rescue settlers mission where we got a reward of additional trust from the backbone. I think it was, yes, the backbone here. So we now have the option of picking 2 additional missions in order to get us to the third and final mission in this operation. So I think today's episode is going to be going through both of these and then going into that and then finishing the operation. We'll see what we do there. Typically there's some sort of event that happens after an operation, and early on in the game before we access any more of the more difficult enemies, this is really sort of getting used to the game, getting used to the squad, seeing how they grow and react to things. So in this case, we're going to look at either biological sampling, which increases the damage of weapons against aliens, or extermination, which gives us 2 intelligence. Now, intelligence is very important for understanding where the enemy is going to be. And if we look at this, contaminate the brood pools, we need to contaminate first and second pools. Essentially, this is not a quest that early on really needs a whole lot of experience. So instead, we're going to go collect samples and go from there. So what we can do then is, as we look at our troops, we have the ability to improve them. Right now we have 30 promotion points, and if we look at any of these abilities, you can see they cost X amount. So 14 for Lim, who has a special ability which decreases his promotion cost, and then Carta has some interesting stuff as well. So if we look at all of our troops here, they basically all have the same stuff with the exception of whatever's on the bottom right. There's a couple unique skills with that, but if we look at Tech, he gets buff, so increases his health. Carta gets the ability to call a target, which interesting that these 2 are switched, but mark a target within 10 tiles and gain 20% accuracy against it for 2 turns. What I'm unsure of is if she gets 10 or 20% accuracy or if everyone does. And then Lim gets run and gun for standard attack after moving. And lastly, Rewa gets roadkill, which makes run over attacks vastly more deadly. Now, run over is a very interesting ability. It allows you to get up close and personal to enemies and essentially literally run them over. It costs 45 AP to get into that range, but it does do a lot of damage. And in this case, it is double the damage and hits more enemy elements, or, you know, enemy creatures, so to speak. For right now, I think there's a lot of stuff that we could do. We haven't been using her for roadkill, and I don't think we will in the near future. So what we're probably going to do instead is we're going to give Lim that run and gun, which is 10... Sorry, that was that guy talking. Minus 10 AP for the next standard attack after moving, which is going to help him be a little bit more aggressive. One thing we could take a look at is, do we have enough money to buy anything? And the answer to that is absolutely not. So we're still stuck with our generic rifles here. In this case, we need to destroy 3 targets, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to set people up on this side, and we're just going to move together. I know there is a complete the mission in 14 rounds. I don't particularly care about that right now. I want to make sure that our troops do well and don't die. So for that, we're going to go ahead and keep moving with our current setup. I think everybody is already configured. We didn't lose any squad mates from the last round, and we're going to go ahead and start the mission. So
who's gonna catch these hands?
Let's take a look at the map here. So we see we need to eliminate this, which is a specimen. So it says eliminate. I'm assuming that this actually just means collect, but we'll see. Maybe they are special. Either way, we'll go ahead and put Lim in here. This is going to be very efficient early on because we'll be able to move with the APC and then pop Lim out and he'll get some extra attack power. Oh, that was very quick. We don't like that at all. Okay, well, Don't like that in any way, shape, or form. However, if we move here, we should be able to attack that bug. Good accuracy, full armor penetration, and they are wavering. So we like that. Little bugs over here. You know what? Okay, these guys are the jumpers. So if we're really going to do that, if we really want to focus on that, we can probably do a little bit more damage. But for right now, I think we're going to absolutely screw ourselves over, which is fine. No problem.
Reassess the situation, Major.
All right, thank you. Because they're wavering, they're also in a very bad spot, which is great for us. And I think what we'll do... Nope, let's get you... Oh, shoot, this is still the same turn. Let's get you over here. No, actually what we're going to do is we're going to deploy you, wait for these bugs to come in, and then next turn we'll go ahead and do that. Ooh, that's a scary, scary spot to be. We may take a little bit of morale damage here by shooting these guys, but for how much damage it actually does and how little they actually take, we're just going to do that and call it good. We will go ahead and do that. Oh, there's, okay, young warriors, young alien warriors. Let's focus on the blaster bug for now. We'll do a lot of damage as we can. They're wavering and fleeing. Excellent. So that'll save our APC going into the next round. And we'll call it good. So, very early. 2 young alien warriors. That's a little bit dangerous, I'll tell you what. Skill retention unit. What is that? Interesting. Either way, I think what we'll try and do is we'll move here and do a little bit of damage to these bugs. Again, of course, they don't take any suppression, which is kind of problematic for our high suppression weapons, but nonetheless, we'll be able to still do quite a bit here. So I've looked at doing stuff like this before. Unfortunately, it will only kill one of these guys, so realistically, we just need to start popping shots as soon as we physically can. And if I was really smart about that, I would have deployed early, because I know these guys and these guys are going to be moving forward at us. So in this case, we'll do the same thing, and we'll continue to try and get those guys done. One thing that I did find out, and I did a little bit of research on this over time, is that the loot table is vastly different than it was in the demo. So in the demo, what you did was you completed a mission and you got certain randomized rewards. You got to pick from 2. And this is all from a dev blog, so feel free to take a look at it. Ooh, okay. Yep, take a little bit of armor damage. That's okay. No big deal. But in any case, what you could do is you pick from 2 different things and then you went along your merry way. Either way, what we did was just accidentally skip him. Doesn't matter, because that guy's just a boss. All right, we'll move forward. Anyway, I get distracted. But what you can do is pick 2 things. We'll say that for the 35th. This is why I don't talk and play at the same time. It doesn't matter. And then from there, you would just go through your missions. In this case, what you do is you have a random chance to get any loot from any of the enemies, regardless of, you know, who they are, what they are. In this case, right, we have a chance to get trade items, which you can't necessarily use, but you can sell for fairly expensive margins. When we start facing off against the pirates, you know, logically, we'd start fighting or finding pirate stuff, which is very, very nice. Continue to keep bullying these guys. They're running away, which is great. I don't see any reason to attack them then. Marta, you just don't have a whole lot of flexibility here. So, in fact, it is just collecting specimens. Okay, I gotta be honest, I did not expect collecting specimens to be that. But hey, that actually makes it a lot easier for us, because that will allow us to very quickly take out the enemy and move from there. These guys are particularly dangerous. If we don't kill them, they will do essentially what are stealth-offing attacks, I will say. And they will jump at your units. They'll give acid, which reduces armor, and also take out basically a squad per turn. I think we'll toss you out there. I don't really know what you're doing. And quite honestly, you were retreating, I'm sure. But in this case, some mistakes were meant to be made. Let's go with that. By the way, these guys, very inexperienced. And she has a very terrible defense stat, so we are losing some people. What is nice is, so at least one of these guys is down, but we will recover at least one of them, possibly two. Early on, you only have a limited number of squad mates that you can recover, and as you get additional OCI parts, you can actually improve that. So in one of my campaigns, I'm able to get at least 5 with an additional 30% chance for anyone on top of that, which is quite nice. We'll go ahead and move forward and get you down. I think what I'm trying to get at here with taking these guys out, even though they are retreating, is that it does allow us to potentially level up our troops. I don't know what the effectiveness of that is. I'm still working on that, but for right now, it's something. Let's go ahead and get you into cover, and we'll deploy that so we can use the MMG. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this APC all the way over. We'll leave you there. And interesting. Eliminate. I don't see what that is. Do we need to eliminate the vessel? Okay. Either way. Let's let you... Okay, that's where it is. That's where it is. And we'll get... what if we get Lim out of there? We will brace you, and then we'll take some pot shots. You've already moved, so by the time the next turn rolls around, we'll be able to punch it with either Lim or with... I think more than likely, we'll use Reiwa. Because Reiwa is... Oh, skill retention unit is the actual unit that they're with. So like the 81st Astral Assault. Interesting. Either way, what we'll do is we'll get that done with the APC early on, because that will prevent them from actually getting in close and doing any more damage. I don't really want to take any more damage on either the APC or lose any more squaddies, so we'll let that go. These guys, I guess, already moved, so we'll move forward and potentially get you in there. And we'll brace. All right, so now take you. Easily done, and we can move out of the way so that Lim can potentially get to the evacuation point. Yes, perfect. That is exactly what we were hoping they would do. And so now we'll just keep popping shots at these guys until they flee. Or if we can kill them, great, even better. So we'll just get Lim down. So at this point, we're round 13. We just got to get everyone into the extraction point, and we'll call it good. And on top of that, shoot, we're not going to get that. Darn. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We're going to miss it by 1 turn. Okay, that is 3 promotion points that we're not going to be able to get, but that is okay. It's not a big deal. So, we'll take it. 15 turns. Get all the stuff, get the promotion points. We did get some really good equipment here. 15 trade value chitin platings. So 4 of these and 3 of these. That will absolutely allow us to get some additional equipment. And I think we're going to start very early on with some rifles. So I think what I want to do is I want to get a K-Pack and I want to get a crowbar. Probably more important to get a crowbar early on because of the armor piercing. That's extremely valuable for the bio bugs. And I think we'll just pop that over and we'll just get 1 of these. We'll give that to our highest accuracy troop, which I think is actually... Okay, it's actually tech, but I don't want to give it to tech. And maybe I do want to give it to tech. Overconfidence leads to increased risk-taking, minus 10% defense, and plus 10% accuracy. Ooh, okay. Or eager, reduce tile movement cost by 2. I think I'm actually going to give it to Lim, mostly because of his run and gun ability. We also have an additional 43 promotion points. I think what we're probably going to do, I think it's 20 for initial promotion cost. So we'll get you to... kind of want to get you athletic because of your terrible action point value. See, positioning or precision is critical hit chance. I don't think we have anything that specifically calls out movement. What we're going to do, especially because later on you have this ability called Share the Load, which is, and I suppose I should talk a little bit about how I want to build her out. So what I would love to do is get Mobile Infantry, Share the Load, potentially buff, which is kind of crazy to think about getting 3 things in tier 2. Probably need to rethink that, but at least Share the Load at the very least. We want to get Tank Buster to get additional damage and armor penetration, and then Full Send, which is minus 10 AP hardware or special weapon cost for consecutive usages. Essentially, all of these allow her to move effectively while also using a tremendous amount of special weapons. So, for example, if we get that, right, we have this 10, or 5, excuse me, 5 or 6, sorry, I'm counting wrong, 6 for the CMG-50. If we get an additional 8 squaddies, we are able to use that thing forever. Couple that with athletics to reduce the deployment costs, and what was it, steady gun as well as an option for an increased 25% accuracy. She is absolutely magnificent. So for right now, we're going to give you athletic, and then we do have another promotion that we can give. Tech will get buff, and Reiwa, I think we could. Expert pilot gives some additional AP value, or reduces the AP cost. Roadkill is very nice. I think for right now, she is competent enough as she is. We're gonna get Tech that buff upgrade here. So that's the cost of our promotion points. We have the upgraded crowbar here, and then we'll go ahead and take on Contaminate Brood Pools. Very similar to the last one, we don't really have a whole lot of experience in terms, or not experience, excuse me, but intelligence, which is just fine. Not really that big of a deal. But as we move forward through the mission, we'll go ahead and start. And 1 second here. Just making sure everything is working as intended. It is. We don't have any additional stuff to provide them. We don't have any extra anything, really. Of course, excuse me. Save. We'll go ahead and start the mission. As we get stuff from the pirates, for example, it's going to be far more relevant that we do that. But for right now, let's get you in the APC. We'll call that good. Oh, there's a bio bug just there. Okay, you know what? Let's move you forward. Wait, oh, I'm sorry, where was he? There's a second bio bug? I'm not a fan of that. Okay. If we move here, yeah, we're already in range. We'll get that, and you do have additional accuracy, which is phenomenal. Oh, what a one shot from Tech. Let's see, biological agent, so 20% damage. And then 2 times? Really? It's crazy. And then on top of that, he has an additional 10% accuracy. What a goat. That's phenomenal. I love seeing that. All right. You're not... Oh my gosh, there's so many bugs. I am so glad I got the K-bar. All right, let's... So that's going to cost 40. If we move, that's not really going to do much. I think we're going to deploy you, and we're going to get 2 shots. Yeah, because we got 80 AP, so we'll get 2 shots on you. Phenomenal armor damage, which is great. I should actually go over this. So, in comparison to the other weapons that we have, this thing does have an additional 10 armor penetration, and it does additional suppression, as well as having high hit point and armor damage. The range is phenomenal. It is 1 more than the carbine, but it does have the same elements hit and the same rate of fire. So not the most effective in close range, but as you can see, absolutely doing some phenomenal damage here. Let's see what these guys do. I'm assuming that they're going to start shooting at my guy, although if they're really smart, they may end up doing something else. See if we can get Reiwa here, and then we'll take some shots. Even if we can get that, fleeing is absolutely phenomenal. These guys, if they do hit, which is very unlikely, but if they do hit, they are very deadly. They will kill a single squad member per shot. See, do we have the ability? So that's going to take you down to 55. We can still do that, and then we'll take you down just to potentially get you that additional accuracy. So as you can see, it does only take 10 to deploy now, which is super nice. We'll get right back into the APC. Okay, we'll let you do your thing, and you continue to move forward. We'll take it. At this point, we'll just do another double shot at these guys. And hopefully, if we can do our darndest here to not use all of our L100s, that would be phenomenal. Now, we do need to remember that we need to go here and here. Both of these need to be destroyed, which is not a particularly hazardous job. They don't explode or anything. It's just you got to do it. We'll leave you there. And then, yeah, this guy absolutely, if we hit enough shots, is going to flee the next turn, and that's all we need to worry about. All right. Let's go ahead and get Lim up here. Excuse. Oh, we're frozen. There we go. You're going to run away. You're going to move. And then there's those aliens. Okay, let's get some shots off on the CMG here. Perfect. We get one down. Oh, another one. These guys are the spitter bugs, I think. Stingers. Yes, spits acid saliva. That's phenomenal. I think what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and feed... Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay.
He's the only one left. No problem. This is why vehicles are so broken early on. It's really absurd. Especially when she has that stacking Revel in Slaughter, which increases accuracy and discipline. It's crazy. So for right now, we're just going to continue to move up pretty much with no abandon whatsoever. And fortunately, we have our phenomenal APC here to cover most of the stuff. Continue to shoot a little bit, build up that accuracy, and I think realistically we're a little bit more concerned about the spiderlings, the jumpers. They are fleeing. Excellent. We'd love to see that. And then these guys are gonna shoot probably Lim. We may end up losing a squatty or two here. It depends. We don't really have a whole lot of cover. But let's try and get this guy down. So yeah, that's what we do there. Move you forward a little bit. I think we can probably get that. Yeah, these guys are pretty terrible. We would really need a crowbar there, but if we're going to use the crowbar, we're going to end up using it on these guys. They are not very strong, but they, gosh darn it, do a lot of damage if they hit from too close. Let's get that done. Sabotage. Contaminate. Oh, what did I do? I failed the objectives. Okay, well, you know what? We are going to call that, we're going to call that a learning experience because goodness gracious, I thought the wrong thing. All right, well, neither here nor there. Let's get you in the APC. We'll get the APC over here, and then we'll get Lim to go over there as well. That is what? Alien Dragonfly. Okay, great. We can do that, and I think we'll actually move you over here and that. Man, you know what? Call me stupid. That's all we got for that one. These guys, I thought those guys were running. Perhaps not. Very aggressive. But look at the long-range damage these guys can pop off with a crowbar. Look at that. The accuracy is almost as high at its maximum as it is at its optimal, which is about, what, 7 tiles away? It's so good. We love to see it. At that point, we're also just going to potentially get that. Those guys are fleeing. We're not going to screw that up again. We will not screw that up again. Well, is what it is. Here, let's get, that's Lim, that's Tech. Let's get Tech out there. We're not going to be able to actually contaminate that until next turn, which is fine. Both of those guys are doing okay. Blaster bugs will continue to move in on. Yeah, very inaccurate at that long range. Let's get Lim over into cover. New round. Let's go ahead and contaminate. And then we'll get right back in there. Yeah, we can't do that just yet. Okay. These guys are move. Excuse you. Let's get this guy. Perfect. And as you can see, even that far away, or even that close, aiming the wrong direction, these guys still do take a little bit of suppression. Man, I can't believe that I failed that. That's so frustrating. Oh, they killed the squatty. Is what it is. I absolutely screwed that up. But nonetheless, lesson learned. All right, let's double tap on that. We are running a little bit low on ammo. 9 in total. That's not too terrible. see if we can get a little bit. Oh, I would love to get that monster fleeing. That's great.
All right.
Get you in there.
What? Acknowledge.
And let's get you both home. At this point, contaminate the first pool is the objective, and we screwed it up. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to go for that rescue. The rescue, very, very simple. We just go up there and collect these guys. They're right there. And then run them right into the evacuation point.
Proceeding.
Let's see. So we got the mission accomplished. Let's get you over here. Perfect. We'll get there and complete the mission. So, mission accomplished. Success. We're gonna take a hit on the secondary objectives because we failed to contaminate the first pool and failed to complete the mission within 12 rounds. But we've learned a lesson. On top of that, we also get 3 Razor Claws, which is 75 value. That's another weapon right there. 3 Chitin Plates, which is another 45, and 50 points of Xenoglands. That is a highly, highly profitable thing. On top of that, we have, I think, Reiwa also got Eager, which is reducing cost of movement. Phenomenal to see that. And we now get to choose our reward. So at the end of every operation, you get to choose a reward. These are phenomenal rewards. Explosive reactive armor is one thing. Trade value of 35, not particularly great, versus a King Post Ordnance Factory Grenade Machine Weapon, or the KGMW. So this is exactly what we were hoping for. This is, or I guess, the type of thing we were hoping for. So, all right, like I said, after this, we get an event. And what that event does, I'm not quite sure. So it says, a sutler ship trails behind the Impetus, hailing your comms to come aboard and trade common goods with the soldiers. Okay, see if our corpo can send Wetteroth. We don't have Wetteroth. And Gene Sai can make a deal. We don't have Gene Sai. So we can buy something cheap, which spends 20 OCIs for something between 10 and 40 in value. Or we can buy something expensive for 50 OCIs, which is 30 plus rarity. Ooh. I think for right now... Shoot, I can't check the OCI. I'm going to buy something expensive. I think early on, it can't hurt to have better equipment that keeps our squaddies alive longer. And look at that. The M320 SSW, improved light machine gun. This is phenomenal for Carta. So let's take a quick look here at what that actually compares to. So if we look at the CMG50, what we're looking at is increased trade value, increased rate of fire. Basically what that means is, hey, if we want to sell that, it's phenomenal. So yeah, we can sell that for 120. Realistically, the only difference is how expensive it is and how much it fires. It actually does less suppression and less armor damage, which isn't really, it's not that significant. But oh, hold on. It doesn't need to be deployed. That's okay. Never mind. I stand completely corrected because I'm seeing that it has inaccurate suppressive and projectile, but does not have deploy. So that just made our day, because now we have share the load, which I kind of got really excited about that. Let's go ahead and do that. Hold on. Nope, don't get too excited. We need to figure out what we want to do here, because we also have the ability to expand Limb to have mobile infantry, which we kind of enjoy, or alternatively Tech to have Demolitions Expert, which is really, really nice, or Zigzag. I don't quite know how to build Tech, because he really is very competent already by having special weapons without having to deploy them. But right now, that's good, and I think we're gonna share the load. We're gonna share the load. We need to do that. Now, we did spend a lot of our OCI components to get that, and what I was originally going to do is look at the WOO, or the WOO, which is the Wayback Outreach Office. So you can see here we have 50 squaddies. This gives us 2 every mission, which can, over time, be very, very nice. So if we do 3 missions, we get 6. Additionally, what I really, really want is a medical bay. This basic medical bay, or the damaged medical bay, rather, gives us a single revive If we do another one, that gives us 2 with a 30% chance. Now, early on, I would like to at least have this and something else, because realistically, we're not going to lose that much if we play it safe. Now, that's, of course, if we play it safe, but neither here nor there. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the backbone. We were able to get quite a bit of trust with the backbone, and they allow us to unlock a new OCI. And you can see every faction has these trust levels as well as these options. So the locked OCIs are all of the things that you can get from these factions. In this case, if we look at the backbone, for example, Advanced Medical Bay, which is 3 squad mates with a 50% chance to revive every subsequent casualty. Super awesome. Auto supplies increases the maximum supplies, the more stuff you can take into the mission. Consulate, which is increased trust. Ergo, we get better OCIs very quickly. Medevac rescues downed squad leaders, and so on. They all have different stuff. Very, very interesting concept, and we are going to need to figure out how we want to do a little bit of this. But for right now, I think what we want to do is take a look at what we got. CRC Center, which is Operation Timeout Counter. That is this number right here, where we get essentially operations that will run out if we don't do them. A Consulate, which is an increase to the trust, or a rocket pod run. Say that 3 times fast. Which is an upgraded version of the minigun run, and it does a lot of unguided rockets, which are highly armor piercing and good to go with that. I think realistically, I'm not in need of a rocket run right now. The trust gains might be very powerful early on, and the Operation Timeout is not that necessary, but I do think it's going to be very valuable in the long term. So rather than missing it, I think we're going to get it now. The Consulate is going to be phenomenal as we get into it, but we need to arm ourselves a little bit and get some hull upgrades first. So we're going to be working on that trust level along the way. So we now have 3 different options. We see 1 in Mock, 1 in the Backbone, and 1 in Dice of the Gods. Let's see what we do here. So this one is counterinsurgency. Aggressive warbands of pirates have made an unexpected planetfall and spread over a large area. This is for the Zane Beecher Corporation, which if we look at their stuff, AI logistics, which is supply costs for vehicles, an auto laser turret, improved repair bay, gravity manipulator, ion cannon, because that's not cool enough. Additional commodities for each vehicle destroyed, especially valuable with the pirates and recovery teams, which means that a vehicle lost in battle is not permanently destroyed, which is super nice. On the flip side, we could again work with the Backbone, or alternatively, we could work with Dice of the Gods. I think we're going to focus on, right now, the Zane Beecher Corp, because if we complete this, we'll be able to get a level with their trust, and we'll go from there. But I think we're going to stop it there for this section, and we may end up just adding on to this. We'll see, depending on how long this video is. We may end up adding a mission to the next operation, or adding the next operation, or alternatively, we are probably just going to stop it, cut another episode, and get the whole operation in that one. So, wanted to say thank you to everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you had a good time. I really enjoy this game. It's a great time. But we will see you next time, and I'll look forward to it. So have a good one. Bye-bye.